So yesterday was a very important day in the history of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. I think everything is going to change from here onwards. One thing has been confirmed yesterday that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are not going to be banned and they are going to be regulated. Yesterday, the Senate, the SEC, the head of SEC and the CFTC had a hearing yesterday, and there is a lot of positivity coming out from there. As you can see, the coin market has already started moving up. It's up by 18%. Yesterday, Bitcoin went back to 6,500 now, back to 7.3. Almost everything you can see two figures green right now. Neo 46% up, Stellar 22% up, NEM 42% up, Ethereum 24% up, Dash 23% up, EOS 25% up. As you can see, the market is already turning green, and I think this will keep moving forward. Now, why do I say that? Because yesterday's meeting was very fruitful. There were some key takeaways that I have noted down, which I want to share, guys, and I think the market is going to have a bull run from here. Definitely want to hear your opinion. What do you think? Welcome back to Crypto Conversation. This is channel we talk about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, blockchain, ICOs, news development, market sentiments around the globe to keep you guys updated so that you can take the best decision for yourself. Once again, this is not a financial or investment advice, just my personal opinion. So do not take anything mentioned here as a financial advice. I want to give you guys a brief of what exactly happened. So first of all, they welcomed the technology, the distributed technology and the blockchain technology. They embraced it. It is here to stay. They also compared this with internet, right? As internet was in 1990. They are coming up with a regulation called do not harm regulation. What does that mean? Do not harm, do not cheat people, do not run Ponzi schemes, do not do frauds. So this is the kind of regulations. And also they said that there was no Bitcoin, there would be no DLT. A lot of people still say that, okay, Bitcoin is nothing, let's focus on the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is here to stay. Like you must have heard about Jamie Dimon. He said the blockchain technology, we all know, adopt blockchain technology, but Bitcoin is something fraud. So he should definitely read this out. If there was no Bitcoin, there would be no blockchain technology. So let's get our facts right first. So let me just play this video once for a while, and then we will talk further on this.
Begin briefly with a slightly different perspective, and that is as a dad. I'm the father of 3 college-age children, a senior, a junior, and a freshman. During their high school years, we tried to interest them in financial markets. My wife and I set up small brokerage accounts with a few $100s that they could use to buy stocks. Yet other than my youngest son, who owns shares in a video game company, we haven't been able to pique their interest in the stock market. I guess they're not much different than most kids their age. Well, something changed in the last year. Suddenly, they were all talking about Bitcoin. They were asking me what I thought and should they buy it. One of their older cousins, who owns Bitcoin, was telling them about it, and they got all excited. And I imagine that maybe members of this committee may have had some similar experiences in your own families of late. It strikes me that we owe it to this new generation to respect their enthusiasm about virtual currencies with a thoughtful and balanced response, not a dismissive one. And yet we must crack down hard on those who try to abuse their enthusiasm with fraud and manipulation.
As you can see, this was the crux of the meeting, right? This is the crux of the meeting for me. He gave his own example that how his own son, the Honorable J. Christopher Giancarlo, Chairman, U.S. Commodity Future Trading Commission, he gave his own example that how his own son, he bought his first Bitcoin, and he did not buy any stocks. And so clearly that cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are for the millennials, for the new generations, and they have no rights to take that away, that technology innovations. And at the same time, he also mentioned that that does not mean that we will allow the fraudsters and Ponzi schemes or people to do fraud, and we will not save our investors. It's a long talk. It's about 2 hours and 11 minutes. It's definitely very fruitful. If you go ahead and watch it, you will get the overall perspective of how the governments are thinking on the ICOs, how government is thinking on the Bitcoin and blockchain. But one thing that you will establish for sure is that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are very much will be allowed, or at least in US for now. And of course, we all know that the rest of the countries, most of the countries do tend to follow, especially India is one of them. I mean, the recent example from India was in the parliament that the cryptocurrencies are not a legal tender, but however, we want to curb all the illegitimate activities around cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. So it is very similar to on that note, US and India, you know, they tend to follow each other. So I think this is what has been said over here. Definitely go ahead and watch this, guys. Couple of more points that I want to mention is, so they also focused on the education, that everybody on the street needs to be educated so that nobody gets cheated on cryptocurrencies. They also mentioned about ETFs. ETFs in Bitcoin are currently not ready, but they will be room in the future. The ICOs there was a very serious talk on the ICOs that 90% of the ICOs are fraud and scamster, and they need to be regulated. There has to be a law which all the ICOs need to follow before they can raise any funds. Conclusion: the best solution according to both the head of SEC and the head of CFTC is educate the masses about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, use the jurisdiction that they have over the future market of Bitcoin to collect data and keep track of market so that nobody gets too hurt, and use task force to go after fraudsters who are scamming Main Street investors in ICO pyramid schemes and worthless cryptocurrencies. Guys, as you can see, educate the masses about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. This statement itself is pretty much clear that cryptocurrencies are here to stay, and the government is not against it, but is in the support of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, provided and they will deal very harshly against any fraudsters or scamsters. That's the news, guys. What do you think? Let me know. Do you think this will pull in more people to adopt cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin technology? Or how do you see the market now going from here? Leave your opinion in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join me at a live conversation at about 3 o'clock with India's leading Bitcoin exchange, UnoCoin. You have your opportunity to ask your question related to regulation. We'll be talking about regulations in India, which was announced very soon that it's coming this year. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about UnoCoin adding more cryptocurrency. We'll talk about that and the overall perspective of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, where we stand. So do not forget to join us at 3 o'clock. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like and share, and take care. Thank you.